Alright YouTube, listen up. In this video I did a crispy line mid-taper per usual, you know what I mean? But today was my kid's first day of school, you know what I mean? Got my daughter right here. First day of school outfit.
Dad.
Hold on, peep the shoes though. Peep the Yeezys though. What you mean? Twinsies.
Doesn't like.
Alright you guys, listen up. Stay tuned. I'm out. YouTube, so before you actually start cutting anything off the top, what you want to do is pick the hair out or comb the hair down. That way, you know, you kind of get the hair ready and prepped. You get all the knots and everything out of the hair. You make it easier for the hair to feed into the teeth of the blade as well. So my client wanted a 2 on top, so I went ahead and grabbed my 2 guard and then I made sure I dropped the lever, made it fully closed. I'm using my Andis Masters because that clipper basically cuts faster, so I'm going with the grain of my client's hair. But before I actually, you know, started cutting, I actually combed the hair out, made sure that there was no calyx. That way, when I go in to start cutting, I don't really, you know, cut through any calyx or bumps. So make sure you check and do your research before you actually start cutting. Now starting in the back, I'm gonna set in my bald line using my Babyliss FX trimmers. Now, you don't have to set in the bald line with your trimmers. You can also use your clippers with the lever fully closed. I like to just make my guidelines super neat, and the bald line, you know, using my trimmers for the bald line makes that possible. Now using my fast feeds, I'm gonna go up about a ½ inch, making sure I go over the guidelines multiple times to ensure that it's at that length. Also, you wanna brush the hair back down to make sure you're working neatly. So on a normal day of cutting, what I like to do when setting in my guidelines is I like to use my Andis Masters to set in my guidelines and then use my fast feeds to take out the guidelines. The only reason why I'm using one clipper is because I don't want to confuse you guys to think that you need to have all these clippers to cut hair. Now, same width with the 1 guard open, I'm going up about a ½ inch, making sure that I go over the guidelines multiple times, brushing the hair back down, making sure my guidelines are as neat as possible. So I'm not gonna worry about that bulk on the top. I wanna blend into that bulk. So what I did is I just dropped my lever on that 1 guard and basically I'm just softening that bottom line, basically going up just half of the ½ inch, you know what I'm saying? Just softening up that bottom line to where it's easier to take it out with the next step. Next, I put on my zero guard with the lever fully closed, and in a flick out motion, I'm flicking out that middle line. Now it's gonna be a lot more easier to take out this line because I softened it up with the one guard closed. So the same thing I did with the middle line by softening it up with the one guard closed, I'm gonna do the same thing to that bottom line. I'm gonna close the lever halfway, basically just to soften that bottom line up so it's easier to come behind it with the next step. Now that the bottom guideline is nice and softened up, it's way easier with the lever fully closed to take it out in a flick out motion. Now that I have pretty much everything blended into that bulk on top, I will finally take the 2 guard with the lever open and debulk the top. It's gonna be a lot easier. The bulk is just gonna come right off. If you have to, make sure you close the lever as well to make the transition smoother. So even though you set in your guidelines, you taken out the guidelines, the last thing you need to do is detail your work. All right, this is the biggest, most important part of fading or doing a taper, any type of blend. This is the most important part. All right, what I like to do is I like to look in the mirror. The mirror shows you a different perspective on the blend that you can't see just head on. All right, it shows you like bulk areas in a different, perspective. So make sure you utilize your mirror. Go in, use your corners, and just, kind of use your clippers as thinning shears. Now when it comes to the sides, I use the same exact steps, nothing different. The only thing different is that I'm working with a little amount of space and I have to use my corners throughout the whole process. Listen, let me tell you why they call me 360. When they sit in my chair, I spin them in the full 360, and they come out looking like,
damn, son.
We make it look easy.
YouTube, this is the cut. And if you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, HustleDreamProduction, that's my brother, he does all my beats. His YouTube channel will be linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Also, if you want to know where you can find any tools that you see in this video, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok is official360Jeezy and my Instagram is 360Jeezy. But it's your boy 360Jeezy, and I'm out of here.